and 8 o'clock. Coming up in 4 minutes' time, meet the Bangladeshi female engineer turned psychotherapist who's running a course in Nottingham to help you find your voice. Before that, the voices of Wajid.
The heart of Robin Hood County.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
Now, when you're at work or with friends, you probably don't think twice about how confident you are or how that's coming across. Well, there's a course starting in Nottingham next week to help you build your confidence and improve your life. It's called Finding My Voice, run by engineer turned psychotherapist Lina Mookerjee, who joins me here in the studio. How did you change from being an engineer to a psychotherapist, Lina?
Well, Kavel, it's been quite a journey, and simply the thread is people. I was an electrical engineer working for the distribution company at the time, and I was managing a large group of people who were going off with stress. And what I found, because of my responsibility to my team, was, I wanted to know why. It wasn't a case of just signing them off. I wanted to know why. And as a result of that, my journey took me from wanting to know. So I moved away from cables and lines to wanting to explore about people. And the principles were exactly the same of dealing with the electrical network as with the human body. It was all about managing energy well.
The electrons in the mind.
Exactly. Well, not just the mind. Well, yes, in every cell of our body.
How much do you think South Asian people talk about mental health, Lina? I mean, is there still a stigma about it?
Yes, there is, Kavel. And coming from a background of first generation, immigrant, my parents came after partition. And so we, as the first generation here in Britain, encountered a lot of stigma in terms of trauma. It was understandable that after partition it was really tough, but could we say no? And so as a consequence of my own client work, yes, there is a stigma, sadly, and that's partly why I do what I do, is to break the taboo and the isolation. And it works. It is working.
And it's changed, isn't it, Lina, in the sense that at one time we used to call things like mental illness. Now we're talking about mental health. So there's a positive, spiel to that, and for the right reason. But within the Asian community, there is still that taboo of being pagal. Isn't it?
And I heard,
unfortunately, sadly,
and I challenge that, Kavel, because I talk about mental wellness. So we've gone from illness to well-being to actually, it's about supporting the self and actually taking judgment out of illness and the sense of something being wrong with being pagal, to actually what needs to happen to enable that person to be well. And that's what I look at. So it's focusing on what's good and supporting those parts of self that actually need some support, that actually need some feeding, some guidance. And often it's simply space. We've been non-judgmental.
Now, when it comes to women, they take care of their kids, control their households, see to their husbands or their partners. So they might think that they're strong enough to get through anything. And what would you say to someone like that who may be going through possibly a tough time, Lina?
Right. I would very gently challenge Kavel and ask, how content are you? Not with what you do, but how you feel inside of yourself. That yes, you accomplish all these things through duty, through being strong and having to cope and show you're a good person, because there's a lot of emphasis on being the good wife, the good mother. Actually, does that give you personally contentment? And that's what I would be asking.
Do you think that the world has changed so much, Lina, that we were actually born as human beings and we're actually now becoming human doing?
Absolutely, absolutely. And what's wonderful, Kavel, is that with the Asian philosophy, and I say Asian because it's both Chinese, Indian, that actually that wisdom is already inherent. That state of being, if we can return to that state of being, the wellness is already there. It's the fact that through history and conditioning, that actually we've ended up having to prove our worth when actually the worth is already there. So for me, my client work and practice and yoga teaching is all about returning back to what's already inside. So nobody has to give you the yes or no, good or bad.
Sure.
You're finding it yourself. It's what we call the internal locus. And it's rediscovering that to say, do you know what? I'm cool. I'm good. You don't have to tell me. I already know. And it's without the arrogance. It's with humility and knowing.
Tell me about the course that you're running, Lina. What's that about?
Well, what it's about, Kavel, is it's after 3 years of running workshops for Nottingham Central Library and the library service. And it's been a wonderful exploration and of the groups that have entered, because it all started with Mental Health Awareness Week. And I focused around stress. And now what we're looking at is enabling people to find their voice. And what that basically means is what I said a few moments ago about understanding what self-esteem means, what self-confidence means, and the fact we were born with it as babies and then it gets lost. And so it's a rediscovery with the right conditions and some guidelines and some tools of reconnecting with our sense of worth. So the 4 weeks are basically a journey. As I'll say, the week 1 is about looking at the definition of self-esteem.
Sure.
And then the week 2 is how to start to build self-esteem as an adult, about how to relate with yourself. And it's building that relationship. Thirdly, the 3rd week is about building healthy relationships with people around us and actually questioning the inner critic, how that interferes with getting on with others. And then the 4th week is about communication skills and assertiveness. And this has really been borne out. The experiences of teaching the groups over the 3 years, it's come from them. And what I've done is put it together and delivering and facilitating this free course.
Fantastic.
So it's open to everybody.
I used to have a day job a couple of years ago working as a trainer, both in soft skills and management skills.
So you know.
And there used to be often people ringing me up saying, can you run me a course on managing stress? And I was saying, why would you want to manage stress? The whole idea is to eliminate it, to get rid of it. Why do you want to manage it? Because we manage so many things.
Sure.
And it just becomes another thing to manage. It's just managing stress in itself.
Yes.
It's just putting stress on. But we just start to
Yes.
develop coping strategies rather than getting rid
Yes.
of some of the stuff that we need to, isn't it, in our lives?
Absolutely. And actually, stress we need. If we look at the physics of stress,
Yes.
which I would as an engineer, because without stress, we wouldn't get up. So the fact it's about, as you say, how we define, how we perceive stress, because how you may perceive it will be differently to how
Sure.
I perceive it. And stress is not just bad, it's good experiences too. So going on a roller coaster, going out with friends for the first time, that's stressful. Buying a new house, getting married, having a baby, these are stressful situations and they're joyous.
Yes.
So it's about how to manage the energy system within self so you can manage rather than cope. Cope is
absolutely.
So that's what I work on.
How can people find out more than Lina about the workshops?
Very easily, Kavel. Firstly, they can email me, and that's Lina, Lina, at praxis-ppd.com. Go to the website, praxis-yoga.com. Also to contact Nottingham Central Library, and Laura Ironmonger is the person who's taking the bookings.
Okay, if you haven't got those details or you haven't managed to get the pen and a paper, don't worry. We've got all the details about Lina here in the studios, and no doubt you can give us a ring on Nottingham 9343434 and we'll give you all the details. In the meantime, Lina, thank you very much indeed for coming
Thank
and
you,
talking
Kevin.
with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
BBC Radio Nottingham.